Hey, welcome back. I'd like to dedicate this episode on what I perceive to be the current state of Bitcoin and where it's heading, at least for the remaining second half of this year. Now, before I jump into why I believe that Bitcoin is the best, hardest asset out there, I want to just lay out key events that, are justification as to the possible rebound that's going to happen in the second half of this year. There is this on Mt. Gox, which is a Japanese exchange, where they've agreed with their creditors and affected clients that they can repay and distribute the bitcoins, the seized bitcoin, and be liquidated. We know that there's been some elections. So we had the UK prime ministerial elections that just finished. We've got the left-wing Labour Party back in power. We got the French presidential elections coming to an end. And we're still left with this outstanding US presidential election that's going to happen in November. So in terms of the two candidates, I feel that Trump is the likely favorite, and him being a pro-Bitcoiner, this can only be a good news for us Bitcoin holders, purely because he's made some public statements. He's a believer in Bitcoin and come to the point where he's selling himself in terms of his candidacy as a pro-Bitcoiner. And also he went on to say that he will help establish the US Bitcoin mining in the United States, which, it falls under his ethos, make America great again. So I genuinely believe that he's going to win this election, and I expect this having a significant impact in the Bitcoin price. And then finally, the key event, we know that there's been some positive CPI, Consumer Price Index, reports has been issued by the Fed saying that there's a drop in the CPI inflationary rate. And then it's going to be, as a result of that, there's going to be pressure for the Fed to start as soon as possible, cut down on interest rates. That's going to happen most likely in September. And if you add to 25 basis point interest rate cuts that the Bank of England are going to be expected to plan to do by the end of this year, this would almost certainly benefit Bitcoin bull rally during the second half. I don't know how much the Bitcoin price will look like at the end of this year. It's going to be a bull rally, and it's going to be quite significant in my view. Now, going back to, in terms of the hardest assets, gold up until now, before Bitcoin came into existence 15 years ago, back in 2009, gold at that point was the hardest asset. It has a 5,000-year history. It's not portable. You can't easily carry your gold bars or gold coins without raising suspicion in the airport, security or customs. It can be easily confiscated, can easily be seized by government and authorities. It's not so clear as to who, the authenticity of actually who owns the gold bars or coins. It's not that clear. It has been useful to begin with, but now it has its day, purely because Bitcoin came along. Bitcoin, it's in cyberspace. It's not something that is held in a bank account, in a bank. It's not something that can easily be seized or confiscated by banks or governments or authorities. It's completely disseminated. It's held in Bitcoin wallet addresses. People now are moving even their holdings, Bitcoin holders, or even crypto assets in general, off the crypto exchanges like Coinbase into a cold wallet hard store. And it's very impossible to bring down the Bitcoin network. The nodes are very well scattered throughout the world. It's virtually impossible to bring it down by the authorities or governments. We've seen what happened with China, where they've banned Bitcoin, and that's only helped improve the value proposition of Bitcoin. More people invest in Bitcoin, even outside of China. So for this reason, for me, Bitcoin is a resounding winner. It's the hardest asset. And if I were to describe it in a few words, it's like the safe haven asset account in the cloud. That's how I would term Bitcoin. It is that safe haven asset. It's not controlled by any CEO of any company. It's not a security. It's a commodity with a finite amount of issued amount of 21 million Bitcoins. No one can change that, and it's in cyberspace. So for that reason, I want to leave this message that let's continue to hold on to the Bitcoin holdings. There will be that rebound in the second half of the year for the reason I've just laid out. It's the best, hardest asset there is. It's demonetizing gold. It's taking over gold slowly but surely. And also will be demonetizing other assets, whether it's art collectibles, even real estate, certainly bonds and equities like stocks. There is $900 trillion worth of global wealth out there. and Bitcoin will slowly eat into that. So the message here is, I can't think of any other asset other than Bitcoin to invest. So messages, keep on accumulating as much as you can. Don't have to be lump sum payments, but make it gradual based on your risk appetite and what you're able to have as disposable cash to buy in small amounts of Bitcoin, whether it's through dollar cost averaging, euro cost averaging, yen cost averaging, or pound sterling cost averaging. No matter where you are in the world, for me, this is the best and hardest asset that we have, and we continue to invest on Bitcoin. So that's the message I'd like to leave off today. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.